Prepare for a fusion of knowledge and exhilaration where education and excitement collide.
Taking you on an adventure that expands your mind and speaks to your spirit.
I'm Master Nick.
I'm Lady Dee.
We are the Dom Life.
This podcast contains sexually explicit topics and adult content.
It is intended for listeners 18 and older.
The opinions expressed in this podcast are ours alone, based on our personal thoughts, feelings, and experiences.
We understand that others may have different opinions and experiences, and we respect that. We would love to hear from you. You can reach out to us at www.thedomlife.com. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Dom Life podcast.
Yay, we're here, just you and me. It's been a while.
It has been a very while, except for our mini episodes that we've been rolling out.
Right, but I meant for us to do a long episode together.
Yep. And
it's the perfect week, I guess, for this episode.
It is.
Brr.
It has turned off very, very cold, so no better way to introduce temperature play.
Way excited about it.
Now, temperature play really isn't something we have done a lot of. We've done a little bit of hot and cold stuff.
Wait a minute. We did a dungeon that included all wax. And that, my dear, is temperature play.
Wax is temperature play, but I'm pertaining to the
fluctuation
hot
between
and cold.
the two.
Yeah, the fluctuation, the differences, the variances, and using both hot and cold on you. We have done wax a few times.
Right.
And it is great for the hot side of temperature play.
Oh my gosh. Yes. And one of your desires is to do the fire play.
Fire play is on my list. Definitely. I've mentioned that a few weeks ago. No, I have not had the time to actually get it all out and experiment and play with it, but it is still on my bucket list. And one day it is something we will give a try and see what happens.
So we decided to do temperature play because of the fact that we are doing another demo for the Swinger Society.
That is correct. Next weekend, Friday and Saturday, Swinger Society's coming to Club Tempted for another club takeover.
And we're collaborating with Ex Libris.
Yep, Sir Dante and Zora, they're going to be there with us. They've give us their input and their thoughts, and together we're going to put on two demos, one Friday night, one Saturday night.
Friday night is the one that's the Winter Wonderland weekend. I'm sorry, Friday night is the Frozen Fantasies.
Yes.
But the whole weekend is the Winter Wonderland weekend.
Yep. So Friday night is our temperature play demo that we will be doing. Why don't you kind of give us the layout of how the temperature play demo is going to go?
Well, it's pretty exciting. We obviously like our demonstrations to include participants.
Makes it a lot more fun that way.
And we set this one up so that there will be two tables, one table that is all hot, and we have you men dressed up in your devilish heated costumes.
Absolutely.
And then the other table is going to be set up with all cold items. And me and the Ice Princess, Zora, are going to be taking care of the cold side of things.
Yes, we are.
And then we're going to have four seats set up. And guests will be able to sit in those seats, and we will fluctuate between the hot and the cold, using their arms or their backs or wherever they want
or
with
whatever,
our implement.
Whatever they're willing to expose.
Oh, exactly. And you like exposure.
I do. It makes things so much more fun.
So we're going to fluctuate between the men and the women using the hot and the cold implements on some guests that are willing to participate.
Yep, and that sounds like a whole lot of fun. And then just to finish out for the weekend, the Saturday night, which their theme is Glacier Glow, So we've decided we're going to do a heavy impact light show. So
What does that even mean, sir?
well, so they want everything in white. There's going to be a lot of black lights. They really want this place to glow. So what me and Sir Dante have done is we have checked around, we have researched, and we have purchased UV reactive or glow implements. So we will be doing our impact scenes on you and Zora on the dance floor under all these black lights where everything is glowing, and it's going to be super cool. It's going to be super awesome. I'm excited to do it. I can't wait to hear the crowd reactions.
But sir, what does heavy impact mean for all of our listeners?
That means we are going to have floggers. We're going to have crops. We're going to have paddles. It's going to be a very short, intense, heavy impact scene.
I'm so excited. I'm glad that we can bring this to all of the guests so that they can see some aspects of BDSM.
Yes. So if you are a Club Tempted member or if you are a member of Swing Society, we hope that you come next weekend, see our demos,
participate in our demos.
And have a great time and enjoy yourself. Because I know if you're there, you're going to have a great time. DJ Life of Spice, of course, he's the main headliner. We do have some Club Tempted DJs. I know S. Dot's going to be there, and I think DJ Jorge is going to open Friday night for him, and then S. Dot coming on Saturday. So the music's going to be pumping. It's going to be a great atmosphere. Everybody's going to be glowing. It's going to be an amazing time.
It's always an amazing event with the club takeovers.
Oh, yes. They always do such a great job.
So let's get back to what is temperature play, sir. Tell me more about it in your sexy voice.
Well, so temperature play falls under the umbrella of BDSM, and it typically is a sensual play that involves using a variety of items and substances that are hot or cold, and you're mixing it up and you're putting it on different parts of the body. And it goes real good with the sensory deprivation side of BDSM also. You can really mix things up with having blindfolds on.
So that you don't see what's coming.
Yes, you can't see it.
Well, I wouldn't see what's coming. You know what's coming.
Yep. And then, as always, another favorite is either noise-canceling headphones or earbuds playing some type of music. You can always add to just about any scene with those. But you are taking different items, implements, foods, glass dildos. You're taking anything and everything, and you can either make them hot or you can make them cold.
Right.
And by mixing the two, it does create a very sensitive, sensational feeling.
I warm up massage oil sometimes in massages because, again, that it putting something cold on your body isn't as good as putting the warm and letting that seep in. And as we know, I really do like the warm stuff.
Yeah, you definitely prefer the warm over the cold. But depending on what area or what we're doing, sometimes we do use the cold stuff on you.
Right. It would be good on a nipple.
Yes.
Get it really, really cold and then put your mouth on it to warm it up.
Yep.
That feeling is amazing.
Yep. And again, this technique can be used with a variety of materials in both liquid and solid forms. So some examples that could be used for temperature play. Obviously, you've got ice cubes, cold water, hot water.
A bath with an ice cube.
Yep. Massage oils. We've talked about wax. Wax is a great form of the temperature play for the hot side.
I've gotten hot stones at a masseuse before where they've laid them at the pressure points on your body.
Exactly. Frozen fruits.
We talked about wax.
Yeah, we talked about wax. Frozen fruits is another going for the cold side. Hot cocoa, ice cream. Kind of a cool little scene that we did discuss and we thought about for our demo, but we kind of changed it up a little bit from that, was take your partner, lay them on a table, blindfold them, and make an ice cream sundae on their body.
We talked about that because I have a fantasy of having food eaten off of me, which you actually made come
Yep.
true.
Except we use cupcakes.
We used my cupcakes from my birthday, and I didn't know who was doing it or what, but you watched over it and it felt amazing.
Yep.
I was giggling so much, I'm sure that they all thought it was hilarious
Oh, yeah.
because
Everybody
it
enjoyed
made
it.
me laugh,
Yep.
the feeling and sensation.
Everyone there definitely enjoyed that. But the ice cream sundae thing, you mix it up. Obviously, ice cream's cold.
Hot
So
chocolate.
you lay it on there. You get your hot syrup, your hot chocolate syrup, your hot caramel. You can add your fruits that could be either heated or cold. So building a ice cream sundae on your partner, and then what would make it even better is if you had several more participants that are willing to eat it off the body. Then
Exactly.
you get the sensation, the sensory deprivation, and for you with the cupcakes, it was a great afternoon for you because you enjoyed it. It was a check off your bucket list and everything for that night.
So safety is a big priority when you're
Absolutely.
dealing with the hot and the cold, especially mixing it up.
Yes.
Because when you're dealing with intense heat, it's very easy to burn.
Yes.
We had that problem with one of the waxes we played with at one point.
Yes.
The what is that called? The flash point, the point where it heats completely.
The wax that I had a higher melting point.
That's it, melting point.
So by the time it melted, it was just a little bit too hot to be placing on the skin. So definitely check with temperature gauges or use it on yourself first.
Well, and it had a gauge that said what it was supposed to be, but that's not by the time it hits your skin where it's actually melted in the center. But then we got the right wax, and that was amazing.
Yep. So not only on the heat side, but also on the cold side, you want to be real cautious. You don't want to have anything too cold sitting on the skin for too long, as frostbite can take place and occur. And then depending on how big of a scene you are, I know you can do temperature play in the snow. You can do temperature play in a hot tub or a sauna. You still got to worry about hypothermia and hyperthermia. You can cause serious health risk.
Those ice baths and stuff like that, you can.
Yes.
And then to fluctuate the temperature when it's very cold, if you're putting hot directly on that.
You can cause tissue issues.
Exactly. So
damage.
be aware of that and start with it slowly. Incorporate some little bits of this in.
Yes, absolutely. And again, it goes with everything in BDSM, communication. Obviously, if your partner is starting to shiver or if you're starting to see the grimaces on her faces or any of that stuff, communicate. Make sure, check on which spot is the cold or the hot and make sure it's not uncomfortable or they're getting any kind of weird sensations from it. So definitely communicate back and forth. Keep everybody safe. Don't want any bodily damage.
Our recent real talk episode was about punishment. This is something that could actually be used in punishment.
Yes, you can.
So you're not physically slapping or hitting, but believe me, I understand that ginger causes a reaction of heat. So if you take a root of ginger and you cut it and you place it inside of a female or male submissive, it causes a very intense burning sensation.
Really?
Yes.
I'm going to write that down.
No, listen, let's take that completely out of the episode. Scrub it from your brain. This is not a good punishment. It's a terrible punishment. This would be for extreme situations.
Still noted.
So there's also even just you knowing that I don't enjoy cold, using a cold dildo on me.
Yes.
And placing it inside and making me leave it in or maintain it until my body warms it would be a form of punishment because it's not something that I say, yay. Now, there was a time, and I don't know if we actually mentioned this in an episode or not, but a fun play with ice is putting an ice cube up inside of you.
Yes.
And then inserting a penis inside of you as well that's warm. And the warm penis and having sex with an ice cube in there, it melts, it cools things, but you get both sensations at the same time.
Right. Yep. I have heard of that being done. And I think you have told me that before. But again, with you and your body change and not liking the coldness, it's something that we don't really get into a lot of.
On the outside of my body, it's okay.
Right.
But the inside isn't
Right.
okay.
Which is why glass dildos are popular, because glass dildos you can do cold or hot. You can set them in a ice water to make them cold. You can put them in warm water to make them warm, and you can have more than one glass dildo and mix it up. Use one with cold for a little bit, and swap it with the warm, and mixing up the different temperatures like that. I'm sure would be kind of a wild experience. I don't know. I would never experience it.
We could play with that, just with the understanding that the cold has to be less time than the warm. Right. And then one of the things you currently do is warm up any
I warm them, yes.
dildos that you use at all, because you have a couple that you like. But in order for me to even be comfortable once they go in to stay, I mean, you'll go down on me, you will get me wet, and then it has to be warm in order to keep that sensation going.
Right. So other ideas on hot play, we have talked about wax. Wax play is definitely one of the top, probably one of the most common and the most enjoyable. I know of a lot of people that really enjoy the wax play.
You can vary that between the candles and the actual wax warmers.
Yes.
So you get different sensations between the pour and the drip from the candle. The drip from the candle, it seems to me to be hotter.
Right. Fire play, definitely a hot idea for temperature play. It comes with its own safety risk involved. I mean, obviously you're playing with fire, so you could really burn a skin. You could set something on fire. So definitely take the necessary precautions if you decide to do fire play.
Do a lot of research and understand it. And if possible, reach out to other people that have done it, that have been experienced in it, because that will help to mitigate some of those safety concerns.
One of the biggest things that I've seen while researching what little bit I have researched, everybody has said, have somebody there as a fire watch, somebody that's out of the way, out of the scene, not involved with the scene, but they are watching for any fire. They are watching, making sure everybody is safe. There's no communication with them. They are focused on watching where the fire goes and make sure it gets extinguished. So
Snap watch. Ginger mentioned that with the rope play suspension as well, because
having a watch.
Exactly.
Saunas are another good idea for hot play. I know we did a sauna together.
We did that one and sweated to death.
Yeah. Saunas are good for me for the first 30 seconds to a minute.
We were there for a while,
we were in there for several minutes, and it was a little
sweat
miserable.
Pouring off of our body.
It was a lot.
But could you imagine having sex in that? Ours was kind of smaller. I don't know that there was enough room to do that, but if you had room, I mean, it would be fun, and then you exit it before you have a heart attack. I'm just saying.
All right, so ideas on cold play. We have talked about the cold or frozen dildos. Glass dildos are definitely the best thing to use for these. You could take any dildo and put them in ice water, but the glass ones will hold the temperature a lot longer and are great for the cold play. Ice cream, Cool Whip, I'm going to say we all, because I love Cool Whip so damn much. I feel that everybody should love Cool Whip. Cool Whip is another thing. Throw it in the freezer and let it thaw on a person's body. That would be really great. People do ice plunges for their health benefit, but it also would be good to have your submissive just strip them down, put them in there for a little bit as a form of punishment. Maybe if you have a sauna and an ice plunge at your home, coming straight out of the sauna into the ice bath.
Another way you could do that is the bathtub and a shower running with warm water.
So you can pull them out
bring them to the shower. And basically, the way that I see that kind of play, you're stimulating the body. It's the
Yes.
same as me getting flogged. You're making all of the blood cells or the sensations, your body is now the focus versus your mind.
Right.
Like most of the time, your mind focus is you're running around and doing all your activities and thinking about work. This way, your focus then becomes, I'm so cold. And then when your partner lets you warm up, there's that sensual, you're a part of my world, you're stimulating my body and my senses.
Right. Sounds like a lot of fun. Maybe we need to try that.
Cold clamps for nipples. Maybe we shouldn't try that one.
I think we should give that one a try. It's on the list here. We at least got to try it at least 3 times.
I really am good with eating food off my body. I think that's because your tongue warms it at a appropriate level.
Right.
I really like that. So if you're going to put a cold clamp on it, could you suck it a little bit, my love?
I probably could make that happen.
Master Nick, I love you.
Let's set up a little bit of a scene for temperature play.
That would be a good idea.
Now I'm thinking we use the wax
because we've done
for the
so
hot
much
side
of it.
And with wax, you can get the wax melting pots, which we have, and you can actually adjust the knob on it to what temperature you want. Obviously, you want the wax to melt. So for us, we try to keep the melting pot at a lower temperature, but enough to let the wax melt. And a lot of that is in what wax you buy. I did find Too Hot to Handle candles that done a whole lot of research and made their own candles. And that's the ones that I fell in love with and have purchased
fell in love with
and have bought them and used them because the other waxes that we had was just a little too hot. You can melt some down in your wax pot and still have the candles. But now we're going to change it up just a little bit. It's not only going to be wax.
Ooh, what are you adding, Master?
Well, we're
Nick?
going to have a bowl of ice.
Oh, no.
So here's what I'm thinking that we could do. We could take this ice cube, run it around on your back, run it up and down your spine, all the way around, get everything nice and cool, feeling that cold sensation of the ice cube.
You know what we should do? We should use the plastic ice cubes
so they don't
so that
melt.
you're not getting any water on my back. So when the wax drips, it actually adheres and everything same as normal.
You could use the fake ice cubes that I call them, the ones that are made to go in the freezer and go in your drink and not water it down. So okay, yeah, we could use the fake ice for this, but rub it around on your back or your legs or your butt or wherever. And then go from that to a wax pour, where we're pouring out of the melting pot.
That variance would be pretty extreme, I think.
I think it is.
I'm willing to try.
I think it
up.
is worth something to try.
We need to get Christina over here.
Yes, do another wax play with them because I absolutely love listening to her. I think that would be a great scene, though, mixing it up between the hot and the cold, in between the pours. Pour the wax out, let it solidify, grab the ice cube again, hit a different area.
Because what we did for the dungeon scene was you warmed our skin up.
Yeah, we done the impact scene first.
Impact to warm up the skin. This way we're going in a little bit cold, which means I can't decide if that means the wax will feel hotter or less hot because our skin was warm.
Yep.
I don't know if the cold will counteract some of that heat at first and allow you to get it more.
We're going to try that. We'll have
and
to
then you'll have to
experiment.
peel some off and see what the difference is, like side to side.
Right.
Okay. And then what happens when once you pour the wax on, now what are you going to do, Master Nick?
Well, after it solidifies, we grab more ice cubes and we'd go to different parts of the body. And even then, immediately after pouring, as it's solidifying, we could put the ice on it and see if the cold transfers through the wax to where you're getting a cold, hot, and then another cold again. So it would be an experiment to test and see what reactions and what sensations you get from the ice combined with the wax.
That sounds amazing. Now, when we did the dungeon scene, we were sitting in chairs.
Yes.
Would you keep that the same?
I would prefer you all laying flat, completely flat. The chairs was okay, but I mean, sometimes you all really enjoyed it, but it was an uncomfortable position that you all was in. I would prefer to have laying flat or on some kind of our little love lounger that we have down there, the little yoga lounger thing, whatever the hell they call that. But
you bought it. You don't know what they call it.
I know I bought it. I don't remember what it's called. But it is great for the male to lay down on and the woman to straddle on top. That's a hot ass position right there.
Oh.
But I would prefer you all being laying down instead of sitting upright. I believe we could do more with the wax in one particular spot than letting it run.
Right.
Because gravity will take it, but if you're laying flat, it'll pull up more.
Plus, once we're all waxed on one side, it would be easy to flip us onto the other, and you could do more and different varied, like the cold nipple clamps. Now, how do you keep things hot and cold, sir? How would you do that in a situation where you're doing like a dungeon play? The wax, obviously, we know, but we're going to be setting up temperature play stations.
Yes.
What are the ways that we would keep things hot and cold?
You can use heating pads, wrap stuff up in heating pads. You can use crock pots, kind of just fill it with some water and keep it on a warm setting or turn it up to whatever temperature you like. That is several ways of keeping things hot. You can also use, like they do in catering, you've got the metal pans with the little bitty candle burners that sit under it that you could lay, metal utensils.
Got to be careful with that because you just don't want it too hot.
No, you don't want it too hot.
The other thing that I have used before is the griddles. I've used a flat top griddle and put cloth on top of it like a towel because I'm not hot enough to burn.
Right.
And then you can lay stuff on top of that and it would heat it very good.
Yep.
And then the cold, it's always going to be ice.
Yep. Keep it in ice, cold water, that kind of stuff.
And then you just dry it off before you use it.
Yep.
Now, some of the items that you can use, some of the things that we're bringing are rollers.
Metal rollers, some kind of metal rollers.
Or they have the marble ones because those transfer heat as much too.
Yep.
So we've got rollers. What other things? It would be warm, like massage oils with like essential oil smells, because then you're bringing in the sensory, your nose and the smell of things. I think of cinnamon as a warm, smell. One of the other things we're doing is alcohol. They actually have these. They have it's an ice finish alcohol. It has the flavor goes like a mint menthol background. So what happens is it tastes like berry and then it hits you and
you kind of get that cool menthol feeling in your mouth.
Yep. And then of course Fireball, the cinnamon is the hot. Yep. So those are other ways in which to incorporate.
Yes.
Hot and cold on your tongue can be very erotic.
Yep. So you can use a coffee or a hot chocolate with ice cream or ice, but ice cream, you would get more flavor out of it.
Right. Feeding me frozen fruits.
That's also a great idea.
It reminds me of the movie 9.5 Weeks was a movie that they did a whole scene with food play.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that I've even seen that. I've heard of the movie and I've seen it, but I don't think I have actually watched it. So now I may have to watch that just to kind of get a better idea of how other people do food play.
It was sexy.
Was it?
That scene was the one that sticks out in my head. The rest of it, there's one other one where she's crawling across the floor. It was the first kind of degradation scene. But yes.
Okay. Food play. We'll have to do something on that.
So you indicated that you did some research on fire play.
Yes.
Can you explain I know you said it's live fire, but explain what that is.
So there's several different techniques that can be done with fire play. And I haven't researched them enough to know them off the top of my head. So if you are into fire play and you know a lot more than what I'm fixing to talk about,
reach out.
reach out. I'm ready to learn some. But basically, so
we
technique,
want to experience it too. So not just learn some, reach out. We'll invite you over. We'll do an interview.
I got to definitely learn more before I try it. But the technique I was looking at, you have a wand, and I think they called it a fire wand, and it had some kind of cloth or cotton, some kind of liquid absorbing material is what it's made out of. And you dip this into your alcohol, and I believe they use the 99% isopropyl alcohol. And again, I'll have to go back and research it. It's been a few months since I've done that. But they dip their wand in it. They get any excess liquid off of it so that it's not dripping, take a chance of it going somewhere else. But then what you would do is you would essentially take this fire wand and you would rub it across the area that you want to light on fire. So I would rub it across from your chest, like from the top of your neck down to your belly button. I would make a swipe. I would take a lighter to your skin and flick the lighter, and it would ignite that liquid on you. And then immediately after lighting it, you would take a bare hand or a gloved hand and wipe, and you would smother the fire out.
We should have recorded this because then everybody would see my jaw hanging open going, what? You're going to light a lighter on me?
Yep. But also in fire play, there's also called fire cupping. And it was really cool to see in one of the videos that I was watching. They also showed how to do fire cupping. And you've seen... I've seen people doing the cupping where you take these like glass bowls and get suction onto your skin, and it is some kind of health remedy. Again, I don't know a whole lot about it yet, but they done it using fire. So they would, I think, put a little bit of the liquid inside these cupping bowls and would light it on fire and then immediately place it over your skin. And when the fire went out, it would create a vacuum.
Wow.
And it would cup your skin with it. And, of course, however long you leave it on determines how big of a mark that it leaves. But they rub the skin down with something like some kind of lotion, baby oil, something like it, where they could move. And as long as you kept pressure on that cupping bowl, you could move it to different parts of the body without losing suction.
Wow.
So you could start like right center of your back and you could move it to one side or another.
I'm ready to experience all that.
Yeah, the fire cupping was really cool to see. And the fire play itself was. So I've got to find the time to sit down and really start researching more into it. I only watched 2 or 3 videos of people doing it. So I'm technically not even a beginner in fire play yet.
Right.
I still got a lot of researching and a lot of education that I got to find out for myself before doing it. But it definitely intrigued me to think that you could take this fire and put it on somebody's skin and it be, again, BDSM is not safe.
Right. Exactly.
It's only as safe as you make it. So, the way they done it as safe as possible. They had their fire watch. They had somebody that was watching over everything. And then you had the person that was using the fire wand and the lighter, and you had the person laying on that was receiving the fire play. And it was really cool to watch. It was very interesting. It really got my curiosity up, and it is something that I do want to learn and that I will find time eventually. And when I do, we may even do a video for a podcast of doing the fire play.
Ooh, I'm all game.
But before all of that happens, of course, again, I got to research. I'm not going to attempt to teach anybody how to do anything until I am 100% certain that I have the technique down myself. But yes, definitely, if any of our listeners out there are into fire play and are comfortable teaching, it is definitely something I'm willing to learn. I want to learn. Feel free to reach out to us. Let's come up with a date where we can have you over, maybe do an interview where you can talk safety and techniques and do all this. And we may even have a dungeon scene afterwards where maybe you're teaching me how to do it.
It's so funny because when we think of temperature play, one of the things that you and I didn't bring up, and it popped into my head, was the fact that they make condoms that have like some menthol stuff
Yes.
so that it cools off, and then the mouth over it will
Right.
warm it up. Lubrications
have
that
lubes.
have the tingling in it,
Yep.
and that's a sensory type of cold feeling or cooling.
Right.
And again, the thing is, we don't use it because you and I are playing with each other, so we're not using it. But there's a lot of variations in lubes and condoms
Yep.
that help with that kind of sensory temperature play.
There is all kinds of stuff. There's so much more stuff out there that we don't even have a clue about.
Right. We don't do a lot in temperature play. Again,
it's not one
we've
of
done
ours.
the wax play, and we're talking about fire play, but that's a kind of in its own little
Right.
category.
Yes.
So I don't immediately go wax play is temperature play, because
Correct.
I'm thinking of a larger category, but the wax play is
It is a subcategory of temperature play.
it's so much fun.
Yep. And
So-
there's just so much you can do. Thinking about it, metal utensils. We have a friend that told us they took metal spoons and have just threw them in the freezer and let them get cold, and then get them out and just rub them up and down their partner's body. So that is a form of temperature play. So there's a lot of different creative ideas out there.
Yes.
We hopefully have give you a few ideas on temperature play. We are doing the demos. We've been working hard. I know you and Zora have been working very hard at getting all the implements and the layout of everything of our demo for Friday night. So we will be doing temperature play demos at the club. And we hope to see you there. Give us a shout if you're there. Let us know that you listen. Let us know that you follow along.
We love to meet people who have listened to our podcast.
Absolutely. We absolutely adore people that reach out, say, hey, love this episode, or one in particular, we love you, Lady Dee. I know that put a big smile on your face there, but check us out. Get creative. Get your partner. Get the hot and cold stuff that you like.
Let us know what you've done.
Yes. And as mentioned earlier, we are doing our demos next weekend
At Club Tempted. Come and see us.
Yep. So our next episode for next Sunday, we will be going over what all happened on the Friday night.
We're going to give you
Saturday
the
night.
breakdown.
We'll give you the rundown.
We'll tell you what worked, what didn't work.
And how much fun everybody had out of it. Make sure and stay tuned.
Please follow, like, and share our podcast.
Make sure to visit thedomlife.com, where you can find pictures and other details about the Dom Life podcast. And through the Contact Us button, you can ask questions or provide recommendations for future episodes.
We want to explore your kink too.
Be sure to check out upcoming events to see where our adventures are taking us, and our photo gallery to where we've been.
Thank you for joining us on this journey. We hope you had fun listening and learning with us.
Till next time, keep calm and remember your safe word.
Red, red, red.